Trial date set for a 95-year-old charged with seriously injuring a villager in a golf cart. Chain-smoking villager arrested after crashing into a fixture in the roundabout. Detectives searching for man involved in an incident at the Glenview Country Club. Villager arrested after road rage confrontation with husband and wife. Villager's daughter arrested in theft of lottery tickets at the Circle K. Villager charged with DUI in 2022 golf cart crash at Laurel Manor. Prosecutor wants to revoke the bond of a villager at war with her neighbor. Villager sentenced to anger management after punching a woman in road rage incident. A DUI suspect who crashed in a roundabout has been caught driving again. Long-traveled villager jailed after unwanted return to residence. How many holes in ones did we get this week in the villages? This and more coming up. A chain-smoking villager was arrested after crashing into a light fixture in a roundabout. Regina Ann Brady, 75, of the village of Piedmont, was driving a gray Toyota Camry at 10:15 p.m. Wednesday when she crashed in the roundabout at El Camino Real and Buena Vista Boulevard. When emergency personnel arrived on the scene, they found that the front end of Brady's vehicle had broken the light fixture and she was chain-smoking. Her eyes were bloodshot and she had slurred speech. The Brooklyn, New York native swayed and miscounted during the field sobriety exercises. She provided breath samples that registered 0.193, 0.196 blood alcohol content. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was released after posting a $1,000 bond. Remember, the chief of police we had on the WNL show said not only are they looking for signs of alcohol problems like bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, those kinds of things, but when they have you do the roadside test, it's how well you follow instructions. Take 9 steps, not 10. Turn to the right, not to the left, those kinds of things. A detective is searching for a man involved in an incident at Glenview Country Club. Love Glenview. Detective Petit of the Sumter County Sheriff's Office is looking for a man who had been at the country club in the Villages on Wednesday. If anyone recognizes this man in the blue shirt and white pants, they are asked to contact Detective Pettit at 352-661-8859 or 352-569-1622, or if you want to remain anonymous, 1-800-432-TIPS. And ask for reference case number 3894. That's reference case 3894. I know it's a crappy picture, but that's all I got. A villager has been charged with driving under the influence in connection with a 2022 golf cart crash at Laurel Manor Professional Plaza. Edward John Badowitz Jr., 73, of the Escondido Villas was arrested Wednesday on a Sumter County warrant charging him with DUI. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. The New York native had been driving a 2012 Columbia Park cart on the night of February 27, 2022, when he hit an island in the parking lot and ran into some shrubbery, according to the arrest report. He was thrown from the golf cart and landed in the parking lot. He was transported by ambulance to Ocala Regional Medical Center. When he was interviewed by the trooper at the hospital, Badowitz claimed he did not remember anything about the accident. Florida Highway Patrol went through the long process of obtaining a subpoena of Badowitz's medical records, which showed he had a blood alcohol level of 0.163. There were several back and forth communications between the trooper and the hospital seeking clarification for the need for the medical records. Ultimately, a warrant was issued for Badowitz's arrest. Well, the lady that's been having a battle with her neighbor and claiming half of his house belongs to her, and she wanted to cut his tree down. And if you haven't seen the whole report on this little story, we'll go back last week and watch the video of this, and it'll get you up to date. The prosecutor's office has filed a motion to revoke the bond of a villager at war with her neighbor. Janice Frances McKay, 78, of the village of Hacienda East, was arrested June 8th after allegedly trimming her neighbor's tree in what appears to be a long-running dispute. She had been free on $2,000 bond when she was arrested a second time on June 23rd when she drove into her neighbor's yard and proceeded to hit her neighbor with a stick. Right. Yahoo! Oh, gosh. The second arrest would be considered a violation of her bond from the first. McKay, who lives at 1301 Fontana Court, has property that backs up to the residence of 89-year-old William Calabrese at 1302 Corona Avenue. He said he had been sitting in his house at about 7 p.m. on June 23rd when McKay drove her golf cart into his backyard, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. He walked out the back door and asked McKay to leave. Calabrese's dog ran out the back door and began running circles around McKay's dog, prompting the Buffalo, New York native to swing a stick at the neighbor's dog. He told her to stop swinging her stick at his dog and stepped in between them to protect his dog. McKay's stick struck her neighbor in the shoulder. She got back in her golf cart and drove into the roadway and went back inside her house. And the rest of the story, like I said, you'll have to go back last week and you'll get caught up with it. It's comical to me. 89-year-old and 78 years old. And it reminds you of the Three Stooges. A villager has been sentenced to anger management after punching a woman in an apparent road rage incident. Ronald John Holberry, 63, of village of Osceola Hills, was ordered to complete 12 hours of anger management as a result of his 2022 arrest in a road rage incident that sent a woman to Ocala Health ER in Trailwinds. The woman was driving on County Road 466A in Wildwood when a blue Mazda cut in front of her and began brake checking, according to a arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. She said she almost rear-ended the Mazda several times due to the driver's erratic behavior. Holberg got out of the car and confronted the woman, who had also exited her vehicle. "Ladies, you got to stop doing this." He open-hand slapped her across the face and then pushed her, causing her to fall against the hood of her vehicle. He punched her in the face, and she fell to the curb, hitting her head. Other motorists stopped to help the woman. Polberry fled the scene. He was arrested at his home as a result of someone capturing his license plate number. He was taken into custody on a felony charge of battery of a person over the age of 65. However, Polberry's attorney successfully negotiated a deal. He was allowed to enter into a 12-hour management course. The judge stipulated he could not take it online. You must show up in person. A snowbird from Pennsylvania has been sentenced to a drunk driving charge after getting lost in a golf cart. Michael John Sambida, 52, of Fairview, Pennsylvania, pleaded no contest this past week in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence. He will lose his license for 6 months, has been placed on probation for 1 year, and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. WrestleMania, take care of this. Sambita was in a white 2022 E-Z-GO golf cart at 9:15 p.m. January 22nd when he was spotted driving without headlights in the parking lot at Shooter's World at Brownwood, according to the arrest report. Sambita admitted he drank 7 beers in 7 hours while watching the NFL playoffs. He said he has recently arrived in the villages and was trying to find a place he was renting when he got lost in the golf cart. He agreed to take part in a field sobriety exercise but performed poorly. He provided breath samples that measured .130 and .132 blood alcohol content. He was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. He was also issued a traffic warning for driving without headlights. Let me go through this scenario for you because I've preached this at least 50 times now. That would help prevent things like this. Sambita was in a white 2022 E-Z-GO golf cart at 9:15 p.m. The squares, the bands, and things stop at 9 o'clock. 9:15, it's dark, he's heading home. He's renting a place, but he's not sure where it is. He has no GPS on his phone, the village's GPS. He don't know how to get there. It's dark. He went to town. He said he was there 7 hours. So he went to town, say around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, went to a bar, had some beer and a burger or whatever, watching the game and talking to people at the bar. It's time to go home. He's had a couple of drinks. It's dark. Where's the golf cart trail? I don't remember how I got here. And that's what happened. When you go to town, make sure you know where that golf cart trail. Look at a landmark. Look at a building. See where it comes out. At least you know how to get back on it. Also, know where your house is at. Write the address down. Put it in your cell phone. Something. So you can kind of get an idea where you're going. But if you're new here, I say for $7, I think it's $7, download the Village's golf cart app. They tell me it's pretty good. And by God, it'll get you home. A drunk driving suspect who crashed in May in a roundabout in the Villages finds herself back behind bars after climbing back behind the wheel. Maria Carmen Williams, 30, of Lady Lake, is being held without bond at the Sumter County Jail following her transfer from Lake County Jail. Williams was driving a GMC utility vehicle at about 9:30 p.m. May 12th in the roundabout at Morris Boulevard and Stillwater Trail. Well, that's close to where my first house was at, when she collided with a 2013 Lexus utility vehicle, according to the arrest report. It appeared Williams had been drinking. She said she had had a single glass of champagne at about 2 p.m. that day. Williams performed poorly in field sobriety exercises. She refused to provide a breath sample. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and refusal to submit to a breath test. She was released on a $2,000 bond. While she was free on that bond, Williams was arrested again. She was back behind the wheel of her GMC utility vehicle on June the 3rd when she was pulled over by a Fruitland Park police officer. During a traffic stop, she admitted her license had been suspended as a result of a DUI arrest. Williams claimed she had been told by her attorney that she could drive up to 30 days. I don't think your attorney told you that. The police officer explained that she was not allowed to drive on a suspended license. She was ticketed and her vehicle was towed from the scene. She was not taken into custody at that time. However, on June 20th, a motion was fired by the prosecutor's office to revoke Williams' bond. That led to her arrest on June 23rd in Lake County. The reason why I read that, I know she doesn't live in the Villages, and I'm supposed to report things that happen in the Villages. I try to report things that happen in the Villages to make people aware. All of our roads here are public. She don't live here, but she comes through here on a public road in a public roundabout that's inside the Villages and could cause an accident. So that's why I read these to let people know that just because you're in the Villages, just don't assume everybody in here lives here. A villager with a troubled history was jailed after returning to a residence from which he was banned. Mark Allen Muldoon, 59, was arrested on Monday by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies on a charge of violating a court order. At the time of his arrest, Muldoon was also found to be in possession of a glass stem with a burnt residue that tested positive for methamphetamine. He was being held without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. Muldoon has been arrested in May in the village of Santiago after he began swinging a broom at a man in the garage of a home they were both sharing. The man grabbed Muldoon to try to prevent the Chicago native from striking him. Muldoon pushed the man and he fell to the ground, hitting his head against a metal handsaw. Ooh. There was blood on the saw when deputies arrived on the scene. Muldoon was arrested on charges of simple assault and battery. Muldoon has a long, troubled history here in Florida's friendliest hometown. In 2021, Muldoon was arrested after headbutting a man in a dispute over a cell phone. In 2020, Muldoon was arrested after paying an unwanted visit to Spanish Springs Town Square. Muldoon had been banned from the square in 2015. That year, he was sentenced to 30 days in jail after a woman complained to police officers that a man had been grabbing at women's arms and asking them to dance while at the square. Muldoon has had numerous other arrests, most of them stemming from intoxicated behavior, as so are most of the things that happen in the village. It has something to do with alcohol, usually somewhere. Ooh, this guy kind of scared me to look at him. An Iowa retiree who lost his license as a result of golf cart drunk driving arrest has landed back behind bars when he was caught driving again. Alan Burdett Russell, 64, was arrested Saturday by Fruitland Park police on a third-degree felony charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at the Lake County Jail on a $10,000 bond. Russell had originally been arrested August the 3rd after a beige Yamaha golf cart was spotted heading north parallel to U.S. Highway 27-441. A traffic stop was initiated at Discount Tobacco. The overwhelming aroma of alcohol emitted from Russell's person, the officer wrote in the report. I think that's funny the way he wrote that up. Emitted from Russell's person. Russell later admitted he had consumed 6 shots of gin and a couple of beers. He nearly fell over during field sobriety exercises and refused to provide breath sample. A computer check revealed his license was suspended in 2018. Russell was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and driving while license suspended. He also received a verbal warning for driving an unregistered vehicle. He was jailed again after that arrest when he skipped a court date. It just never. A villager driving on a suspended license was arrested after running a stop sign. Edward Charles Kirschwell, 59, of the village of Alhambra, was driving a white Cadillac SUV with Tennessee license plates at 8 a.m. Monday when he ran a stop sign at the T intersection of County Road 44A and State Road 44, according to the arrest report. A traffic stop was initiated in the parking lot of Zaxby's restaurant on State Road 44 in Wildwood. A computer check revealed the Ohio native's Florida driver's license was suspended in 2019. Kirschville was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. Well, that's about the halfway point. Let's have a small word from our sponsor.
Hello, Craig Morrison here. You may have seen me on a few of the Skip Smith Wednesday Night Live shows. I'm coming to you with a message specifically for those of you turning 65 in 2020. Now, you're probably dreading that process of Medicare and Part B enrollment, etc., etc. But I wanted to make sure that you knew that unlike your past experiences with health insurance where your employer was paying for it and every year you had an open enrollment and everything was automatic, these decisions actually, they lie squarely on your shoulders. So I want to give you a warning. There's going to be some people trying to help you. In fact, your mailbox is going to be full of stuff, and you're going to get telemarketers calling you all hours of the night. Do you really want to have to put up with that chaos? You do have an alternative. Before I go into who we are, what we do, and all that boring stuff, I wanted to let you know that the most appropriate way of making this decision is probably for me to get to know you a little bit better and what your needs are. No two people are the same in regards to what they're looking for in a Medicare or a health insurance policy. And the way we do it is we evaluate your self-expressed needs. In other words, we interview you, then we give you a side-by-side comparison of several different options from which to choose. Things like copays, co-insurance, maximum out-of-pocket costs, premiums, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, Part D plans, etc. My name is Craig Morrison. I sell health insurance. Do you want to know more?
An older white female is being sought in the theft of items after leaving in a golf cart from the Walmart store in the Villages. Woman entered the store at the neighborhood market in Sarasota Plaza at 12:15 p.m. June 24 when she selected various food items off the shelf. The female then proceeded to go to the self-checkout and scanned all the items according to Sumter County Sheriff's Office. She left the store without paying for the items. She has been described as a white female wearing a dark gray sleeveless shirt, light gray shorts, and brown sandals. She had medium-length blonde hair and approximately 5 feet 6 inches tall, unknown color eyes, and approximately 160 pounds. She was seen leaving the store in a metallic blue colored golf cart without any obvious markings or license plates. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Division at 352-793-2621, or if you want to remain anonymous, contact the crime line at 1-800-423-TIPS, 1-800-423-8477. Reference case number 3936. A villager has turned himself in after a road rage confrontation with a husband and wife at a popular restaurant. James Edward Vitale, 76, of the village of Pine Ridge, contacted Bob's Bail Bonds in Bushnell prior to turning himself in Tuesday to the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. He was being sought on a charge of battery after fleeing the scene of an incident which occurred Friday afternoon outside the China Gourmet restaurant at Colony Plaza. Vitale had been at the wheel of a maroon Dodge Durango when he cut in front of another motorist on Morris Boulevard and County Road 466. The other driver, who had to slam on his brakes, later admitted to deputies that he did display the middle finger. The man went on to park in front of China Gourmet while he went into the nearby Cal's barbershop to inquire about a haircut. Vitale pulled up behind the other man's vehicle. That man's wife was seated in the passenger seat. Vitale got into a verbal altercation with the other man's wife. Why? Prompting her to get out of the vehicle and begin to take pictures of Vitale, who got out of his vehicle. Lady, all you women, stay in the vehicle when you have an altercation like this. Lock the door, video all you want through the glass. Don't get outside. You don't know who these people are. They could be wacko nut jobs that just got let out of prison. A witness added that Vitale had approached the other man with a closed fist and was in his face. The other man called Vitale a vulgar name, prompting Vitale to chest bump the other man, knocking him back a few steps. Vitale was arrested on a charge of battery. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. For your own safety, lady, learn a lesson. A daughter of a couple in the Villages has been arrested in a theft of a lottery tickets at the Circle K convenience store. Jean Truswitz, 47, who lives with her parents in the Perdido Villas in the village of Pinellas, was arrested Wednesday on a charge of theft. She had been working as a clerk at the Circle K at Trailwinds Village on County Road 466A in Wildwood when she was caught on the convenience store recording device, according to arrest reports, stealing tickets. The Norwalk, Connecticut native was taken into custody after she reported to work on Wednesday. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $1,000 bond. A trial date has been set for a 95-year-old villager charged with leaving the scene of an accident after her vehicle struck a fellow resident's golf cart, resulting in serious injury to the woman. Eleanor Levitt, 95, was allegedly at the wheel of a green 2007 Mercury Montego on the afternoon of December 29th when she ran a stop sign and hit a golf cart driven by 81-year-old Nancy Lou Hooper. A trial date has been set for October 2nd in Marion County Court. The Sumter senior living resident has pleaded not guilty to a charge of hit and run. And if you want to know more about that story, go back about 2 weeks ago, I think, and you can find out the rest of that story. I'll do my best to keep you updated on these. Let's do a couple letters to the editor. To the editor. Tonight, my husband, who is handicapped, and myself took our visitors down to Sumter Landing to catch the airport shuttle. Of the 6 cars that occupied the handicapped spaces, 4 of them had no handicap license plate or sticker in the windshield. This included a village's realtor. Needless to say, we had to park a considerable distance from the shuttle bus. Why are these spaces never checked or ticketed? It happens all the time, and those inconsiderate people might think twice if they were fined or reprimanded. That's sent in by Iris McCatton from the village of Duval. Well, Iris, I have no idea. I see it all the time, too. I see golf carts parked on sidewalks, which is ridiculous. I see cars parked in the fire lane zones every day. I see cars parked where a wheelchair handicap to get on the sidewalk is there. They park right in front of it. I see cars parked at crosswalks all the time where people's got to walk around their cars. And in each and every case on these cars, usually there's some guy sitting behind the steering wheel reading a newspaper. They're just inconsiderate. They just are. They're lazy and they don't want to walk. Now, because if these guys couldn't walk and they had a problem, they'd have a handicap sticker and that's where they would be parking. But then you got people that will park there that don't have a handicap sticker. Some of them will back in because they think nobody will see. The police don't patrol it. It's an issue. And when you're in a retirement, to the editor, people really need to know how hot the sidewalks are this time of year. It's 96, but it feels like 102. Take your shoes off and walk barefoot on the concrete. That's what your pets feel. Call and ask your vet how quickly animals get heat stroke. Not a wise decision. Leave them home. Drive them to the park with grass. Think about this. Talk to your vet. That's sent in by Sandy Little from the village of El Cortez. I agree, Sandy. When we had our little dog on hot days like this, we wouldn't walk her out in the road or anything. We'd go out in the grass maybe or sit under a shade tree in our front yard, but we wouldn't take Maggie or Katie, either one, a walk out here on the asphalt. We see people doing it. I watch them poor dogs sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. Because it's hot and people just don't pay attention. I don't know, but I agree with you 100%. Let's see how many holes in ones we got this week. Looks like we got 3. David Delaquila got his first hole in one Sunday on hole number 14 at the Marsh View pitch and putt course. It was at 52 yards on a par 3 hole. Very exciting, said his wife, Laura Delaquila. Congratulations on your hole in one, Dave. Barbara Jenkins of the village of St. James got her second hole-in-one on Saturday at hole number 11 of the Richmond pitch and putt using a 7-iron for the 59-yard play. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Barbara. A golfer was thrilled after getting a hole-in-one at the Mangrove Executive Golf Course. Sandy Carter scored her lucky ace on hole number 7. It was 112 yards long. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Sandra. Well, I think that's going to be the news for this week. Don't forget, port setting coming up Wednesday at noon every Wednesday. And news will be again next Friday and Monday. Top 10 things coming out Monday. Top 10 things. So with that being said,
Don't leave your keys in the golf cart.
Goodbye.